Hello and welcome to ActivTrades Weekly Outlook. A fairly busy week in markets and economic updates for investors this week. A host of prominent Chinese financial companies are scheduled to disclose their earnings performance for the previous quarter this week. There are to follow other prominent Chinese companies in the retail space, including JD.com, Tencent and Alibaba. Let's dive in. Retail sales in Australia are due on Monday. Having had a decrease of 0.8% month-over-month in June, after sales increased by 0.8% the previous month, it was the second decrease seen so far this year. Even as the challenges associated with rising costs of living continue to weigh heavily on consumer spending, a forecast of 0.2% growth month-over-month is expected for July. For the second consecutive month, the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas General Business Activity Index for manufacturing in Texas increased, reaching a 4-month high of -20 in July. When the most recent data is available on Monday, it's expected that the index will improve further to around -16. Major earnings reports include BYD Co. Limited, China Overseas Land and Investment. The GfK Consumer Climate Indicator for Germany improved to -24.4 for the month of August, up from the previously reported -25.2. With reduced inflation expected, people's income expectations are at their best level since February 2022. The September result due on Tuesday is forecast to be in line with the positive trend, moving to around -22. The US JOLTs job openings report is due to be released on Tuesday as well. In June, there were 34,000 fewer job vacancies than a month earlier, bringing the total to 9.582 million. This was the lowest number of openings since April 2021 and was lower than the market estimates, indicating that the labor market may finally be slowing down. Tending in the same direction, 9.57 million positions are expected to have been opened from July. The US Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index for August will also be available on Tuesday. The level of consumer confidence in the economy's future is tracked by the index, and higher low levels tend to affect people's propensity to spend. A slight dip from 117 to around 115 is expected this month. Major earnings reports include Agricultural Bank of China, Ping An Insurance, Xiaomi Corp, Neoing Class A. From Australia, the monthly consumer price index is to be published on Wednesday. The index rose by 5.4% in the year to June, slowing from a 5.5% growth in May that was downwardly corrected and staying in line with the market expectations. This was the lowest rate of inflation since February 2022, mostly as a result of slowdown in the price of housing and food, as well as a decrease in the cost of transportation. A further dip to 5.1% is forecast for July. Inflation in Germany fell to 6.2% in July from 6.4% in June and remained close to May's 14th-month low of 6.9%. The core rate, which excludes volatile items such as food and energy, also decreased to 5.5%, adding to signs that inflationary pressures in the country were beginning to ease. Preliminary figures are expected to be published on Wednesday. Early estimates show that the US economy grew by an annualized 2.4% quarter-over-quarter in the second quarter of 2023, greater than the 1.8% market forecast and 2% growth in the prior quarter. New figures are set to confirm the GDP growth rate at 2.4% when they release on Wednesday as well. Major earnings reports will include Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, PetroChina Co. Limited, Bank of China and Salesforce. The Chinese NBS Manufacturing PMI will be published on Thursday. The index for July increased to 49.3 from 49.2, above the market expectations. However, even if the most recent data improves again and reaches the forecast of 49.5, it still indicates a decline in manufacturing activity for the 5th consecutive month. With a continued drop in energy costs, the euro area CPI was verified at 5.3% in July 2023, the lowest rate since January 2022. It's anticipated that the August flash report, which will be released on Thursday, will show a decrease to 4.9%. In June, personal income in the US increased by 0.3% from the previous month, slowing from May's 0.5% growth. Meanwhile, consumer spending also increased in June by 0.5%, which was beyond market projections of 0.4% growth. Both are expected to have continued growing in July by around 0.3% and 0.4% respectively, as shown by the new data release on Thursday. Major earnings reports include Broadcom Incorporated. Japan, China, Spain, Switzerland, France, Germany, the euro area, Canada, the UK and the US, among others, are all expected to release their final manufacturing PMI readings on Friday throughout the day. Recently, manufacturing activity across the board has been shown to be below the par level of 50, suggesting an industry decline. Expectations are for this trend to continue for August. The Canadian economy expanded by 0.8% in the first quarter of 2023, surpassing market expectations and recovering from the previous quarter's halt. The outcome exceeded the BOC's prediction that GDP would be poor over the whole year, giving it more room to resume its tightening cycle should inflation stay stubbornly high. A quarter-over-quarter decline of 0.2% is expected from the new data due on Friday. New non-farm payroll data will be released on Friday as well. After a downwardly revised result of 185,000 in June, the US economy added 187,000 jobs in July. Around 180,000 positions are expected to be added again in August, more than the 70 to 100,000 required each month to keep up with the expansion of the working age population, but is still lower than the average monthly increase of 312,000 for the previous 12 months. The US unemployment rate dropped marginally to 3.5% in July from 3.6% in June, and analysts predict that this will hold steady for August. If you would like to read our full outlook, please visit the analysis section on our website. That's all for this week. Happy trading!